All right, here we go. All right, so this week we are doing personality, and this week is a big week. It's a big week for two major reasons. A, it's Freud week. Freud is a figure you've been hearing about since day one. He's come up in many other topics. This is his big reveal week of exactly what is Freud. It's important that you understand that Freud is a super sexual man in a very, very repressed Victorian era. So he's controversial during his time, and then he just goes off the limit and just goes all in, and it's amazing. So Freud is a big deal for a couple big reasons. He's the first person to really study personalities and try to figure out why we are the way we are. He has 4 major theories. We're going to study 3 this week, because you don't need the 4th one, because it's really not a complete theory, since he loses his damn mind. But it is important that you understand that Freud, in fact, is the man who is going to make psychology a conversational thing. The ideas he put forward, the things he says, the things he do, make it conversational. And that parts of Freud's theories and components of it are things we use in our normal vernacular with our friends, whether you know it's Freudian or not. He had a huge impact on pop culture. So, what is personality? It's the unique and relatively stable ways in which people think, feel, and behave. The absolute most important thing, and I would underline it in your vocab, in your definition, is stable. We've all had really amazing days. Think about one day that was just like the greatest day of your life. Like how happy you were and how like full of joy you were on that day. You think about it? Okay? Now, Simone, we don't need a detail. We definitely don't need it across the room. Thanks. On the other side of it, we've all had a day where we've had an absolute horrible day. That everything has been literally death. Everything has just been absolutely horrid, and all you want to do is it to be all over, correct? Do we live in those 2 spaces? No, we don't. We live in the middle. Now, what your personality is not based on stress. It's not based on who you're surrounded with. It is your consistent personality. Now, when you meet someone, you're like, oh my God, I hate that person. Is that a real good way to judge a person's personality by just meeting? It's over a long period of time, because I think you would agree that some of your friends you've had for a while don't really know you that well. Can we agree? They know what you let them know, but they don't know everything about you and how you really feel about a lot of things. That's part of your personality. That is part of your motives. As you get older and more self-confident in who you are and your friendships, you'll drop people because it's not worth maintaining this whole facade, because they'll hold you back. Personality is that stable. And as you figure out what your personality is, because it's still being molded and shaped right now, once you figure out what that is, then you'll have a better idea of be able to predict your behavior. Now, when we talk about personality, we have to take character into consideration. Your character is your moral guidepost. It is what you've decided for you is right. What you have decided for you is wrong. It is a very specific thing. I think selling drugs is wrong. I stand by that, by the way. However, there are some people in this world think it's a justified way to make money for their family. And they don't see anything wrong in that. They see not being able to provide for their family is morally wrong. Doing whatever they can do for their family, including selling drugs, is morally acceptable. So your morals, your character is based on what you perceive. How many people do you know that you would say are kind of bad people?
No.
Mackenzie's like, I know a lot. Like, kind of bad people. They're not horrible. Hopefully you're not friends with, like, serial killers. I think we can all agree those are really bad people. But how many of your friends are just, like, mean, miserable people who say really terrible things and do really mean things? Maybe not all the time, but enough that adds up. That is character. Okay, would you say most of your friends have good character or poor character? And each of your friends decide their own character just like you. By you being their friend and allowing it to happen, what does it say about your character? Just putting that out there. Yes. Ugh. You just want to walk around in those cute little boots. All right, your next one is your temperament. Now, your temperament is the enduring characteristic from which a person is born. In your temperament box, write innate. I-N-N-A-T-E. You can raise your hand and tell me what innate means. Innate. What do you got, Kat?
It's like something you're born with.
There you go. Something you're born with. By the end of this week, you'll know the 3 major temperaments. Your parents will be able to tell you which one you were. So there's no point asking this weekend unless you're going to do it. When the day I teach it to you, well, I'll have you go home and ask and then have you report back. Your temperament is what you are on a normal day. Not a day that you're sick, not a day that you're overwhelmed. Can you wait till she comes by or no? Okay, so temperament is how you came out of the womb, whether you're low key, whether you're high stress, all those different types of things, and that's how it is. Everyone good? Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 different ways. So let's get going about Freud. I don't want to do this, so I'm not. All right, so Freud. Now, Freud is going to be the founder of the psychoanalytic movement. It's important that you understand he comes up around the Victorian era. The Victorian era is going to start around the 1870s, 1880s. During this time period, how are people dressing? Conservatively. They're going to be, women are going to cover themselves all the way to their wrists, because if you saw my wrist, men, you would just melt with all of that excitement. My ankles, it's the same thing. Oh my God, so scandalous. You can see my ankles. Okay? Victorian era is incredibly repressed. You just need to hear this background because we're going to get into it here in a second. Is incredibly repressed, which means men were seen as animals. All they wanted was to have sex. They were, to a degree, allowed to have sex outside of marriage, like, for instance, brothels, saloons, good time girls. All of they were acceptable, but you didn't really rub everyone's nose in it. Does that make sense? After work, you would just get the boys together and you'd go hang out with the good time girls, and it was kind of a thing. You wouldn't broadcast it to everyone, but you'd see all the men in town there. Women were supposed to be sitting at home and being like, oh my goodness, I'm so morally correct and I hate sex. Ew. I don't like sex. Ew. And if I'm going to have sex, I'm going to have a baby and then none. And women were supposed to be completely pure and absolutely innocent and never want anything to do with any of that carnal or animalistic stuff. And men were supposed to be complete savages who needed a woman to purify him. And our job was to clean their souls. Okay? Can we agree that neither of those work? Can we agree? Everyone falls into the middle. Now, some people a little bit more to the left, some people a little more to the right, but we fall in the middle. So this is the time that Freud comes in, when men are savages and animals, and women are pure and dainty and perfect and ew. Okay? He comes in, and the whole damn time, all he does is talk about sex. Do you think people are really talking about sex that much? No one was talking about sex. There were so many accounts, especially a lot because Freud was fascinated by it, about women who got married who had no idea what sex was. They had no idea the expectations of what a wife was supposed to do on their wedding night. And if you don't have sex on your wedding night, your actual marriage could be voided. Mm-hmm. It could be voided, and do you think someone else is going to marry you? You could be tainted, which means you're not pure, you're not a virgin, so you had no option. So a lot of women showed up to their wedding night having no idea. Now keep in mind, they're also getting married at 16, 17 years old, having no idea what to expect, and they're like, oh my God, here we go. So there's a lot of things, and then this guy just starts writing all of these novels, writing all of these papers, traveling the world talking about sex, and everyone's like, oh my God, this is so scandalous. Let's hear more. This is so exciting. The biggest thing you need to understand about Freud, he's going to make psychology pop culture. He is going to get normal people like you and I talking about psychology. Oh my God, did you hear what Freud said? He thinks women want to have sex. This is crazy. Okay? And this. Everyone's now talking about it. It's conversational. It's a huge thing. Now keep in mind, he is going to make psychology successful. Beforehand, of course, we had Wounded, we had all these other people started. He's the one that brings money into the funding of psychology. Does that make sense? When you have a big name like Freud doing all these things, selling all these books, people are now going to, I want to be a psychologist. We talk about sex all day. All those types of things are going to make psychology boom. Now he is going to really start writing pre-World War I. In World War II, there's going to be a world crisis trying to protect Sigmund Freud and one other man. Who's the other man? What other major important man during pre-World War I?
Pavlov's dogs.
Einstein. Einstein is the other one. The whole world is trying to figure out how we can keep these two safe because of all the dangers in their hometowns and in their home countries. Germany wasn't letting them go. Austria gets conquered right away. We have a whole lot of conflict. It becomes into a big thing. Eventually, Freud is going to come to, welcome to America.
So does Einstein.
And so does Einstein. And we drag them here, even though the British fought like hell to try to get both of them. That's how much of a big deal he is. Now, the first of his three major theories, you need to know Freud back and forth. You need to know this theory back and forth. If you don't get it, AP Psych is not for you. It will be on your AP exam. Now, what I would do is on the back of your study guide, I'm really not feeling well, and I definitely have a slight fever. I even called out of work tonight to be here with you because I couldn't do both. So I'm here, and I feel like crap, and it's been a terrible day.
I agree. When was the last period?
I'm just like sweating now too, so just letting you have a full visual.
I don't know if you needed that.
Did you need that? I don't know.
If it makes you feel better.
Alright, so on the back of your study guide, you need to draw this. This is an iceberg. Don't judge. It's just not been a good day for me. I just told you I'm not feeling it. What are you making fun of?
Nothing. I just said it's the sorting hat.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Should we write that on the back here?
Yes. Don't you have a spot for pre-conscious?
No, we only
Okay,
have
yeah.
conscious, I think.
So, please listen. This is what you need.
That's never seen Harry
Can we move forward, please? Alright, so this is what you need. You need to draw an iceberg. Now, this is your waves. So, this is your crest of your waves. Above the iceberg, above the water, you're going to see that there's a very small part of ice, correct? The majority of an iceberg is below the surface. Now, this is a very famous example. The only reason I'm forcing you to listen to it is because this is how Freud explained it. It will be on. There will be some sort of reference to an iceberg on your AP Psych exam. Okay? 3 years ago, they asked you to describe all three stages, all three of these, and to do the personality dealing with it. Like, it's a thing. It's a huge thing. You need to know it. So, the first stage is pre-conscious. Now, if you're looking at my iceberg, the pre-conscious is if you're standing on the iceberg, you can see, this is the part of the iceberg you can see in the water. Is it going to be a lot that you can see or not so much? It's pretty shallow, can we agree? And then it becomes too much, you can't see it anymore. That's pre-conscious. Mackenzie, what did you have for dinner last night?
Zucchini.
Zoodles.
Yeah.
I love
Okay. Did you hear her pause? And then say zucchini noodles? Pre-conscious. Perfect example.
Wait,
Thank
what
you
is
so
that
much. It
little
took me
thing
like
say
4 or
the-
5 last
the
year.
little,
What does this have for immediate?
Immediate awareness is what that says.
but like under ego in the pre.
Let me get there. That's not you. You're just doing black right now. Do black, blue,
Oh,
something else.
yeah.
You're fine. Okay? When we're dealing with pre-conscious, it's things that are just below the surface. So, when I asked Mackenzie, what'd you have for dinner? She goes, zucchini noodles. Did it take her long to pull it out? No, but did she have to go get it? Pre-conscious. It's just out of our conscious. So what is our conscious? Our conscious is our knowledge of understanding of our surroundings. Right now, Sydney, what class are you in? What's my name? Perfect. You're doing great. Okay? She knows exactly where she is. She knows exactly who she's talking to. You're writing this all down on the back, people. Okay? She knows exactly who she's talking to. She knows exactly where she is. Who here is uncomfortable in that stupid plastic seat if you're in? Anyone hate those seats? I hate them. Okay? Okay? So your body is saying, oh, this is awful, and you're kind of like scooting around to one side, scooting around to the other, trying to get comfortable. That is conscious. This shirt, for some reason, I've worn it so many times, is driving me crazy today. I'm like so itchy everywhere. Have you ever had that? I'm like, and I also have like bug bite. And like all I've been doing is scratch. I'm just generally uncomfortable. I'm hot. I feel like I'm sweating. I feel sick. I'm starting to feel nauseous because I don't feel well, and I'm itchy. Now that I'm thinking about being itchy, and that's my conscious. Not today. I'm sick. So now I'm itchy.
The book has advice for you on how to be an optimist all the time.
I don't care about it. I like my rage. Okay. So, conscious mind is exactly who you are at this present moment. You're fully aware of what you are, who you are, where you are. Yes? Okay? Now, your unconscious is the largest part of your brain's activity. Your brain has some of your conscious awareness. Some of your brain is active right now. Would you agree? Do you think all of your brain is being used right now? I don't know about you. I'm also thinking about this weekend that's getting here. Oh my God, in 34 more minutes?
That's a long time.
That is a long time. I am not prepared. Huh?
We can go to the senior ball.
Oh, that would actually really help me today, though, because I have to.
Oh, I don't care, because I parked over by Toledo's room so I can leave ASAP, so I don't need it. What? Here we go. So, unconscious mind is the largest part of your brain, okay? I think we've all heard of the science that we only use, like 60% of our brain, 70% of our brain or something? Your unconscious is what Freud says is the largest part of your brain. So what happens is things go and they die there. They live there, but you can't easily retain them. Have you ever had a memory that from forever ago just pop in your head? And you're like, oh my God, I haven't thought about this since the day it happened, and why am I thinking about it now? Freud would say that's your unconscious showing you something they want you to see. Freud says that your unconscious is really the most present in your dreams. Have you ever woken up from a dream and been like, oh my God, that was the craziest thing I've ever done? Yeah? Have you ever woken up from a dream and literally was like, ugh?
Yeah.
Gross. Yes? There you go. See, Kat gets it. Okay? Dreams are how our unconscious mind presents itself. That he says a majority of our thoughts are in our unconscious, but we only can pull our unconscious and think about things in our consciousness. Now, when we think about pre-conscious, conscious, and unconscious, think of it like memory. Remember memory?
Short term, long term.
What would we use as an example of conscious? Working memory. What would be your pre-conscious?
Short term.
And unconscious would be long-term memory. If you think of it like that, it's a nice kind of way to do it. Yes, Kat.
What's it say after immediate? Like, yeah, she says.
Awareness. Yeah, so
How did you?
she told us.
I was like,
Lee.
Wait, so if like the unconscious mind is like dreams and stuff, what if you like scary dreams when you like die?
Unconscious.
Yeah, but that would like they won't
You
like
would say
die.
unconscious.
No, but I mean, it's kind
it's
of
just something.
a fear of something you have.
Yeah, do you dream about?
One time I had a dream that I was
Oh my
drowning,
gosh.
and I'm like not
I
scared.
didn't get to this part. So let's talk about dreams for a second. I'm going to do dreams here in class. I'm not a dream person. My teacher, what you need to know, which is very little for dream analysis for Freud, and that's it. So if you tell me about a dream, I'm going to say, oh my God, you should Google it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, because it's not something I care about in my personal life. You don't need it for the AP Psych exam. So I don't know much more. I do have to do a little bit of dream analysis. Some AP Psych teachers make you keep a dream journal. That is not who I am as a person. So I ain't doing that crap. If you want to retain your dreams and you want to be able to remember them beyond the fact the minute after you wake up, then you write them down immediately. But that's a whole other day. And so there's not much I can say. If you tell me you dream about a bear, I'll be like, okay, Google what a bear means.
It's like never mind.
Malai, what do you got?
What does it say in the middle of the iceberg?
Oh, that's blue. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Okay, so your unconscious is all that stuff. Freudian slips. Have you ever said something that you have no idea where it came from, but you know it came out of your mouth, like you felt it come out, and you're like, holy crap, what the hell happened? It's called a Freudian slip. That's when you're unconscious. According to Freud, he's like, your unconscious says now, and they just like throw things out. Like they just have something they need to say, and that's what they do. And that's your unconscious mind. All right, to the boards. Here we go. If you don't understand this, you're going to have a rough week, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes back to this. Oh, first week. What week are we in, Lee?
24.
On your whiteboard, please tell me what is innate when you were born. It's a component of your personality. Good. Marissa, what do you got? Temperament. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is stable, predictable behavior called? Good. Mackenzie, personality. On your whiteboard, please tell me. So last night for dinner, I had a cupcake. What is that? Had a cupcake called? Good. Had a cupcake. What is it, Drew?
Preconscious.
Why is it preconscious, Drew?
Because you have to think about it for a quick second.
And it was being able to recall it. It's that pause. Mackenzie gave a perfect example. Went through. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the largest part of our brain is dedicated to this. What is it? Good. Malai, what is it? Unconscious. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is your moral guidepost called? Your moral component of your personality called? Sydney? Character. All right, everyone has the basic foundations of preconscious, conscious, unconscious, right? Okay, so just so you know, I'm not making it out of nowhere. This is how he kind of explained it. Okay, so I'm not completely crazy. I mean, in this particular place. So, please listen. Preconscious, conscious, and unconscious are one of his first theories. I think we can all agree there's some real value to that. Yes? Nothing about that theory sounds absolutely crazy and wild. True? That there are sometimes you say stupid things and you're like, where the hell did it come from? It has to come from somewhere. Sometimes you have weird dreams. That's your unconscious. People agreed with that right away. Freud's second big theory is on parts of personality. When we talk about Freud, it's important that you understand he's the first one to study personality and look at why we behave the way we do. So he broke personality down into 3 major components. If you don't understand this, you need to leave AP Psych. If you don't know id, ego, superego, by the time I finish teaching it to you, it's going to have a little overlap on a Monday, then you need to leave because it will be on your AP exam. Everyone's clear, yes? You have to know it backwards and forwards. So, the id, it's not ID. It is not ID. It's id. And I am not a stickler for saying things correct. If you've been in my AP World class, I butcher every language in every name I come across. Okay? You need to be able to say Freud. Okay? So on the count of 3, we're going to say Freud together. If you say Freud or Fraud, I don't even know how that would make sense. I'm pretty sure an AP Psych teacher dies on the spot. So we're going to say Freud together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Freud. We're going to say it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Freud. There you go. That's how you say it. Don't kill one of us. One of these days I'll just go and die. And it's because someone said it wrong.
Oh, someone said Freud wrong.
Alright, so the first one is id. It is part of the personality present at birth and it's completely unconscious. Under id on your study guide, you're going to write animalistic. You're going to write animalistic. Your id controls all of your animal urges. Now, you've of course heard about my man Toby, correct? He's 8 months right now. And my little man is growing up so fast. It's important that you know my man's in love. And his name is Max. He humps the crap out of his dog named Max. He loves it. He has humped maybe 2 other dogs, but Max gets the brunt every single day. And apparently, me and Max's mom are on the same schedule, so they're always at the dog park together. They are in love, ladies and gentlemen, except they haven't figured out the mechanics yet.
That's like Wiggly Monster.
Sure.
That's so true.
Yeah. Sure. Whoever he loves, I love. So, it's fine. But he loves his dog named Max. Now, Toby will hump Max in front of children, in front of his mother, in front of his mother, in the middle of a large group of other dogs. My man has no shame. My man decided he wanted to hump that dog then, and that's what he does. That's animalistic. Does that make sense? Yes? If an animal would do it, it's animalistic. That's your id. My Toby runs on id. My Toby does not pee in the house because he wants a treat. A treat is based on food, water, sex. Remember those 3 things keep coming back? Your id runs on food, water, sex. All of these things are motivated by your libido. Now, typically when you hear libido in like pop culture, it's based on sex. Okay? Like, oh, his libido must be high, or her libido must be high, as in they're like sex craving. No, they're just listening to him more. It's the instinctual energy that may come into conflict. We can all agree that a society would look down on you heavily if you decided to take off your clothes and start having sex with someone, correct? Hello, would that make society uncomfortable? Yes, please follow the norms of our society. Do not do that. Okay, it makes everyone generally uncomfortable. Okay? Society tells us you can't be humping things like my man Toby does in a dog park. That makes a lot of sense, yes? Society tells us no, there's conflict. Well, I want to hump Max, that's what Toby says, but, I can because I'm a dog. But if it was a human, you can't because society says no. Conflict. Libido is based on that conflict. Okay? You want to do things, but you can't do things because society tells you no. Now, humping things is a really weird one to use as a human example. Can we agree? Okay? So let me simplify it. So McCray and I are on healthy diets. I'm passionate about it.
Cupcake for dinner.
I did have a cupcake. It was a rough day yesterday. And I was at work and I wanted it, so I ate it. But more importantly, before I even got to work to eat the cupcake, I stopped at McDonald's. And I got a large fry and a McFlurry. And I stopped at McDonald's because of lack of willpower. And damn it, I really wanted it. And I love McDonald's fries. They are my favorite thing. I literally go and get all the salt off my fingers because I'm truly happy in that moment. That is pleasure principle. I wanted the damn French fries. I've been really healthy. We have been making our lunches. We've been doing meal prep. I've been eating yogurt. I don't like yogurt, and I've been eating it. I'm eating these super low calorie meals, and sure, I've seen a difference, and that's great. But my happiness is definitely plummeted. I've also gone to yoga a lot more, which is great, but it just makes me hungry. So I think I'm gaining weight. No, I'm not, because I'm doing pretty well. But yesterday, my willpower broke, ladies and gentlemen, and I saw those beautiful golden arches, and I was like, and we're doing this. So I pulled in, and I ordered my large fry and snack size, so I do get some points there, ladies and gentlemen, snack size M&M McFlurry. And as I was sitting there, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be delicious. And it was. Absolutely was. While I was getting ready to drive off, my man McCray calls me. Oh my God, I can't answer. And I don't. I don't. Because I don't want him to say, what are you eating? Because I'm not supposed to be eating McDonald's. Because he's like, we're supposed to be doing this together. And then I'll be publicly shamed. And then there's obviously the guilt of knowing that we're trying to do this together. You know what I mean? So I didn't answer. And I was like, So the moment I finish eating my French fries and my McFlurry is the moment I call him, and he's like, "Oh, why didn't you answer?" "Oh, I was talking to a colleague. I'm now in my car." Okay? That is pleasure principle, ladies and gentlemen. It is the immediate satisfaction. I wanted those fries and I was going to get it. Even though there are real consequences, like I had to lie to my husband because he's like healthy.
I'm sure he eats McDonald's now, you know.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't like McDonald's. He literally doesn't like PDQ because it feels too much like fast food. It is fast food, but it's like better than like, cause like I like the grilled chicken salad, but he won't go there because he's like it's fast food. It's like, oh my god, we need to eat quick. Fast food sounds like the good option here, but no, he doesn't eat any of that crap.
He's like Chipotle.
He loves Chipotle. He loves Chipotle, and he eats Chipotle like all the time. But anyway, pleasure principle is I'm doing it because I want to do it, and I don't care that I have to lie to my husband about where I am or what I'm doing because I'm not being a good little buddy. Okay? Every single day, you make decisions that you do something because you want to do it at that moment. Can we agree? That you do something because, damn it, I'm going to. On your whiteboard, tell me what was the last time you followed your pleasure principle? What did you do, like going to get your McDonald's fries? And to be honest, I don't know if my willpower is better today. I've had a really bad day. So it could happen again today. Don't judge. There's a lot of judgment coming over there. So on your whiteboard, when was the last time you gave into your pleasure principle? What was it for? What was it for? I don't care. It was yesterday. Did you have 2 tomatoes instead of 1 tomato?
I ate like more than 2 tomatoes today.
Oh my god.
No, I ate gluten yesterday. I'm not supposed to eat gluten.
Let's go. Get some down. Let's go. What is something you did that you weren't supposed to do? That you knew you weren't supposed to do, but you said screw it. What about, have you watched Netflix instead of doing homework?
I was writing that.
Alright, turn to the person near you and share it. Let's go. Share it. I got it. Michael,
Like you feel bad afterwards, you really get
1. Okay, so when you think about pleasure principle, it is obviously very easily tied to sex. Can we agree? On your AP exam, it probably will be tied to sex because it will be a big thing. One of the things that made it really hard for a lot of kids, not my kids, but a lot of kids 2 years ago was that a lot of teachers just taught this using sex as the example. And yes, pleasure principles definitely. Should you be having sex? No. But will you probably have sex before marriage? Yes, that's pleasure principle. Well, before all that stuff. So, pleasure principle, yes, can be tied to sex, but it's important to understand it's also tied to smaller things. McDonald's French fries. Okay, Netflix before instead of doing your homework. What else is some other ones? Everyone else have a good one?
Oh, I went to sleep yesterday.
I was just gonna say. I was about at like 8 yesterday. That's tired. I was like,
And there you go. So you have to understand that we do follow our id. We do things we want to do when we want to do it way more often than we don't. Reality principle is the major cornerstone of it. Now, if you look at my little diagram, I would definitely draw this. It is helpful, and I'm going to be only adding more to it. And please look over here for 2 seconds. We'll have plenty of time to write. I promise I'm not changing anything. I'm not going to be adding. Please look. So, and don't make fun of, okay? People have been making fun of me all day, and it's been really hard.
You're much prettier than that. That's what she meant. You're much prettier than that.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
it
what
does look like Lindsay Tate. It looks like Lindsay Tate. Oh, it does look a little bit
I love Miss
She
Tate.
just meant that you were.
Yeah, it's
It's
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
Look what you've done.
She
Alright.
she ever heard that?
When we deal with id, ego, and superego, please listen. Your id is typically depicted of the devil. Like, for instance, you shouldn't have gone to bed at 8 o'clock yesterday. You should have gotten some work done. Can we agree? Absolutely. You followed the devil and you were like, oh my god, I'm taking a nap. Sophia, when she decided to watch Netflix and do nothing else, that is listening to the devil. You need to understand that this
It's just what? It's
Oh,
just like.
it's like you're listening to a sing.
Yeah, it's like directly saying this.
It's easier to think of it this way. Now, which we're gonna get to here in a second. Simone, put it away. Is your super ego, which is the best of you. It is your best qualities put together. Okay. Ego, and this is what a lot of people struggle with, and that's why I'm kind of talking about in this. Ego is you at this moment right now. Your ego sometimes listens to your id. I wanted French fries yesterday. I got French fries. My ego listened to my id. Sophia's ego listened to Netflix. Kat's ego listened to nap time. All of those things are controlled by the ego. The ego is the one getting pulled back and forth between the devil and the angel. Ego is actually you. Is everyone clear on that? That's why I have a horrible depiction of myself. But it did take a lot of my own talent, and that's really sad that this was the best I could do. So I'm aware. Okay? So, your ego is part of the personality that develops out of a need to deal with the reality. It's your most conscious, rational, and logical. When you think of who you are, this is your ego. When you think about your flaws as a person and your strength as a person, you're talking about your ego. When you're talking about your flaws as a person, like my love of junk food is really becoming an issue. That is my id. I really do try to be a good person. Like, I go out of my way to try to be a good person, not to tell people that I'm a good person, but because I want to feel like I'm a good person, like I'm doing something positive in my life. That's my super ego. My ego understands that I have massive gaping flaws, and then I have some good strengths, and some things that hopefully balance off my gaping flaws. Okay? So your ego is based on your reality principle. Your reality principle is by which the ego functions. Satisfaction demands of the id only when negative consequences will occur. Now, yesterday I stopped for French fries. Would I have stopped for French fries if I was going to meet McCrae? No. What would I do with all the evidence, ladies and gentlemen? And your car smells like McDonald's when you eat McDonald's. So if McCrae is super healthy, which he is, would he know that there was French fries in the car? Exactly. McCrae is out of town. I got French fries. Okay? That is the reality principle. There were no consequences to me eating fries yesterday. I got away with it. McCrae thought I was talking to a colleague. He didn't know. I was talking to my girl at McDonald's and being like, oh, yeah, give me all your fries. Okay? That is reality principle. I had no punishment. I mean, there's guilt. My definitely waist doesn't appreciate it. But at the end of the day, reality, I got away with it because the consequences were out of the way. McCrae is probably going to be home when I get home today from school. Guess what? I won't be stopping for McDonald's, or I'm going to have to plan a way to get McDonald's, drive with my windows down, then throw the McDonald's away before I get home. Strategy. Is it feasible? Could I do it? That is reality theory. Can I get away with it? If I can't get away, guess what I do? I'm like, oh my god, I love being healthy, McCrae. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, I know.
When all I want is junk food. See, this is not healthy. It's not. I don't know how to fix it though, because this is who I am on the inside. All right, on your whiteboard, write down what you gave into. On your whiteboard, tell me what you gave into. Whatever you previously wrote on your board, whatever it was. Okay? What keeps you in your reality principle? What balances you out? For instance, I only get McDonald's when I know I can get away with it. As in, McCrae is not home. That's my reality principle. Can I eat junk food and McCrae not find out? Okay, so write both on your board, whatever it was, and then write what reality principle were you following when this happened, and how is it only 49? Can we just talk about that?
Wait, what?
What was your pleasure principle thing?
Yeah.
Got it. Why don't you do it all the time?
Just, or right.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that.
So just write it like
So is
quickly.
that like your willpower, your reality principle?
To a degree. To a degree. Not always. No, I mean, what is your thing?
Well, mine is like my skin thing. My allergies.
Your allergens. Yeah. I mean, the fact that you want to have pretty clear skin and you don't want people looking at it. That's your reality principle. But if you knew you were going to get it on like your lower back and no one sees your lower back, would you eat it? Probably you would. See, that's your reality principle. All right. Ready?
I just get a rash.
Wait, so the reality principle is like what holds you back from doing it all the time?
Yep.
So this is bananas report.
There you go. All right, turn to the person near you and share what your reality principle is to keep you from doing your pleasure principle all the damn time. You go to PDQ? Yes. This is your favorite. No, I just like the Oreo one. Keep it classic. 3, 2, 1. What do you got?
So, on Wednesday, 2 days ago, was our first game of our softball team, which I'm the coach. And I didn't do any of my homework because we were all getting ready. And like we went
For
out
a
to eat.
softball game?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
we went out to eat before. And I had to pick people up and I like didn't know about
You're the coach of the softball team?
Not the playing
No, like a
softball
real
team.
one. A friend
Like
team?
in our old man league, we play,
Wait, you guys play? Is it Bryce?
I don't know. We do have to play.
Do you coach also?
You're gonna play the plant team?
Yeah.
They like play us at one point.
That's funny. That's cool. Alright, so reality. Everyone understands reality principle. It's what keeps you in line. So that means you don't do old man softball leagues all the time, correct? Once a week. You know when it's coming, so you do it not every single day. There you go. That is reality principle. What keeps you on the right track is your reality principle. I also don't want to weigh 700 pounds. But I mean, I think 650 I could live with. You know?
You could be on my 600-pound life. And like, that show is so good.
Alright, here we go. So, your id is all of your animalistic things, okay? Your ego is you, and how do you balance out the both? Your superego is your perfect self, your idealized self. It is your moral center. It is where all of your thoughts and ideas about morality come from.
What does it say underneath the angel?
Ego ideal, which is the next thing. Okay, when we deal with superego, it is about basing off what is the most important thing to you, what is right and what is wrong. Okay? When we talk about superego, we are talking about ego ideal. It's the part of the superego that contains the standard for moral behavior. On your whiteboard, I want you to write down one thing that you truly believe is absolutely wrong. Don't tell me murder. I think everyone in this room would agree murder is wrong. What is something that you think is wrong that most people probably don't notice, don't care about? Then tell me something. What is something that is really important to you that you think is really right to do that most people don't? I'll give you an example. I think it's really wrong to steal. I won't steal anyone's anything. Pen, pencil, nothing. I won't steal it. If I don't have it, I ask and I go out of my way to make sure I give it back. Something I think is really important, whether other people don't really care about, I think it's really important to show manners. Please, thank you, and hold the doors.
It thinks that you guys don't think it's bad. I think it's bad.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that.
A little embryo thing.
So, on your whiteboard, tell me one thing that you think is bad, and tell me one thing that you think people typically smiling at people.
Does it make you feel good when someone smiles at you?
Yeah. Well, people don't smile back.
Yes.
Like literally, like you can make someone's day so much better by just literally going.
Okay, maybe not that. Okay, so on your whiteboard, turn to someone and share your answer. Go. Stage Dr. Michael. Sydney, talk to Carson.
I had nothing. I wanted to say I'm fair because people that cheat are scum of the earth, but I didn't write it. I said I wanted to say fair. Because people that cheat are scum of the earth.
3,
Oh, the boat.
2, 1. By this point in your life, you've figured out that not everyone has the same opinion as you do. I just heard that my girl Sophia and I have a very similar opinion. We both hate cheaters.
Oh.
I don't know if you know this about me. I really hate cheaters. Did you know that? It's true. It's true. I don't know if you heard. I'm pretty quiet about it, but it's true. Okay, so your ego ideal means that you smile at everyone you see if you're late. That you never tell a lie. That is your ego ideal. I never, like, my ego ideal is I don't like stealing things. I hate stealing more than anything. And I'm always polite and kind to people and hold doors.
I'm holding yours is a good one.
Okay? Does this really happen all the time? First of all, am I always that polite?
I'm sorry.
She's like, no. Okay? That is why it's ego ideal. Sometimes, listen, sometimes your ego does the right thing, correct? However, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I need to tell you yourself is not important. And that's when I go off on people and not kind. Like today, I lost my mind at 5th period. One kid drives me crazy.
Is 5th period?
In the world. Well, if you talk to anyone in my 5th period, they'll be happy to tell you about it. They're all horrified.
What did you do?
Because he just can't.
Well,
Anyway.
Abby Bo is like my favorite person ever. Like, I love
She
her.
is not in there.
I know she's 1st period.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's such a great person. She's just like a hella happy person, you know? I don't know.
I'm gonna keep going here.
Okay.
She is a lovely person. That's not the comment. I was just your
No, no, no,
enthusiasm
I
was
got
well
you.
off the chart.
I got you.
All right, your conscience. Your conscience. Have you all seen Geppetto and Pinocchio? Yes. You have Jiminy Cricket. Hello. Your conscience.
I've seen SpongeBob with the
Oh yeah.
No? Alright.
No. Okay, your conscience is part of the superego that provides the pride or guilt depending on how well your behavior matches. Every time you get that lurch of guilt, like, okay, so after I finished my McDonald's and I looked around and I didn't have any more, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I just lied to McRae. I can't believe I just broke my diet. I've been so good about it, but I am teaching. I'm doing conscience. I'm like, oh my god, I'm kind of a bad guy. I'm like a terrible person. It's no Blackman, just ignore him. He withers away if you ignore him though, so watch out. A conscience is that lurch in your stomach every time that you don't do something correctly. Like when you're mean to someone, you should feel guilty. Can we agree? That's your conscience saying, oh my god, you're a terrible person, be better. And you don't like that feeling, correct? So you turn around and you try to be a better person. Okay? And that's how it is. I have a really loud conscience and like super annoying. Like really annoying. Like I don't know who gave her a loudspeaker, but she's awful. And I feel guilty about like everything. And that makes me try to be a bigger person, and that's the big issue I'm facing with my life at this moment. So underneath ego ideal, you have conscience. Make sure you know that for tomorrow. This is for Monday. By the way, before that bell rings, it is important that your conscience is really working this weekend. And that you are listening to your ego ideal, my friends. Be the best you can be this weekend. Don't give in to your id. Give into your best self. Help people. Participate. Have fun. But be your best self. And the best self doesn't do stupid things. That would be your id. Don't be the id. Be your super ego. Please behave. Have fun, but behave. And do things that you know would make Miss Bennett happy and proud.
Do I hate yourself?
No, you don't have to sit at home by yourself.
Well, actually, yeah.
All right. That's all I got for you today.